Good morning, card community. It's RJ back with another video. So let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 1987, an unlicensed card. Back in the day, in the mid 80s into the mid 90s, a lot of manufacturers were producing cards before the card companies started to really, well, I guess just before baseball started to really crack down on people having licenses to produce logos of the players, and before the players really cracked down on their images being used for anything. So there were a lot of these unlicensed products. This one says the Indiana Blue Sox Inc. I've done a lot of research trying to find out what that was. Is it a baseball card company? Was it a team that did an all-star set? What was it? Did they manufacture something? What was the Indiana Blue Sox Inc.? Can't find any information about it. Maybe somebody out there knows it. But there is a 60 card set featuring various stars of the day back in 87. Very inexpensive card set because it is unlicensed. You can get a lot of cool cards. Uh, Not a set I've gone after because I'd have to buy this. The card would have to be purchased individually. I don't feel like spending, over $100 on a stupid set like this. So I'd rather just have my Mike Schmidt card and move on. Today's random baseball item of the day. Still happy about my purchase I made many months ago from the basement find where Dave, Blue Jacket 66, was cleaning out his dad's basement, and he sold a lot of stuff to Mike Moynihan and his crew. And then they had auctions and sales. Might be over a year ago now. Can't recall exactly when it happened, but I picked up the mystery box, and the mystery box had a lot of reprint sets, which is right up my alley. So here's a card from one of those reprint sets because I'm never, ever going to have the original of this card. It's just impossible to afford. From 1911, the Mecca double folders, Ty Cobb and Sam Crawford card. So this shows Sam Crawford. This is what the card looked like, but the image here is much more lighter and not as vibrant as the real one that is on the original card. And interestingly, Cobb was the fold over on this one. I would have thought Cobb would have been the main picture rather than Sam Crawford, but you fold this down and you'd have Cobb's torso on Sam's legs, and you could see Cobb would be bending over to feel the ball or something. And basic stats on the back. You can see it prominently says that this is a CCC reprint from 1988. But it is an awesome card, a set I am never gonna, or card I am never gonna own. I've been eyeing up a Phillies Mecha folder. I want to get again. I'm trying to get a Phillies version, a very card set ever made. And there's a one on the bay I've been looking at for a while, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. But this is a really cool card just to have because I'll never have the original. And again, I'm happy to have these reprints. Got the whole set of these, so I'm thrilled. Today's trivia question, sticking with the World Series. Obviously, you all know the Phillies were eliminated last week, so sorry. I'm pre-filming this, so I don't know who's left in the playoffs. I had family with me all week, all this past weekend. To you, it's this past weekend. To me, it's the weekend coming up as I'm filming this. So I had to pre-film all these videos. So I don't know who's actually in the playoffs, but we're still in World Series mode. So for the trivia questions and the prizes to give away. So today's question: expansion first happened in 1961. In 1961, the American League expanded with two teams. Those two teams were a new Washington Senators team because the Washington Senators from D.C. moved onto Minnesota to become the Twins. But the powers that be didn't like not having a team in the nation's capital, so they decided to expand. Plus, there was a move by Ban Johnson, who had a falling out with all of the other major league teams, and Ban Johnson was really close to establishing a third Eighth Circuit Major League that he was going to call the International League. And in order to thwart him, Major League Baseball gave away the rights to four teams to field four other cities to field Major League teams. The American League expanded in 1961 with the Washington Senators, the second version, as well as the Los Angeles Angels. They were called originally, eventually became the California Angels, but they were the Los Angeles Angels. And then in 1962, the National League expanded. They put another team in New York City, the New York Mets, and they also put a team in Houston, the Houston Colt 45s, later to become the Astros. So that was your first year of expansion. It happened again in 69, again in 77, again in 93, and again in 97. And that was the last year of expansion. So, at all the expansion teams, which was the first expansion team to win a World Series, and in what year did they do it? So which franchise was the first expansion franchise, not one of the original 16 Major League teams, to win a World Series, and in what year did that happen? What you're playing for, really cool. I like this card, Mookie Betts from 2022, the Diamond Greats die cut card. Really awesome looking subset. I have the whole thing because I just thought it was so cool. I got all the cards in this set. I have this extra Mookie Betts, definite future Hall of Famer. Probably, again, I don't know, but I'm imagining the Dodgers are moved on, and it's going to be the Dodgers in the World Series. So he's another future ring coming his way. So that's what you're playing for. Send me an email with the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question you will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. Today, what I'm showing off, I started to pick up a lot of I'm trying to finish a lot of sets, or acquire a lot of sets that span a particular genre of release. One manufacturer did a number of sets in a row for a 5-year span or something like that. So, for example, I have the entire run of Drake's Cakes cards from 1981 through 1988. All of the ones that Drake's released, I have them. I'm trying to do other runs like that. I'm working on all the box sets ever done, if you recall. Every box set ever made. And what I mean by what is a box set, I let the tradingcarddatabase.com decide that. So if you look on the trading card database and you see their sublisting of box sets every year in the baseball listings, I'm trying to get every one ever made in that listing, and I'm into the 90s now. It's slowed down once you get into the 90s. It's really big in the 80s, and I have them all. Now I'm into the 90s. So anyway, one of the other things I'm picking up, like I said, is anytime there's a set of some release, some manufacturer made several different sets of cards, I'm trying to get them all. So, for example, from 1986, I have the 7-Eleven Triple Stars. Now, the Triple Stars 7-Eleven were little coins kind of things. See, it says the word Slurpee over there. It's that's the slushy drink that 7-Eleven probably still releases. I haven't been to a 7-Eleven in a long time, but they had that slushy drink called a Slurpee, and it came out first in 1984, and they did it in various regional releases. This one here, I believe this is the East region release, and what's interesting here is they call it a Triple Stars release, but some of the cards have a single player. Many others have 3 players, but this is the first one. This is just Dwight Gooden. They're lenticular releases. I love seeing lenticular. So kind of like your old, it's a sports flicks, essentially what it is, sports flicks technology. And on the back, this is Dwight Gooden. Every one is the same color scheme. They did do 4 regional releases this year. Several players span all of the regions, but some players pop up only in one of the specific regions. There are 4 different ones, and I'm going to get all of them. They're very inexpensive. The whole set can be had for under $20, probably under $10 if you look hard enough. So I'm trying to get all of these little coins. There are 16 per regional set. So that was the first card, number 1. This one, I believe, is a multiplayer card. So let's see if we can see it. So if you flip on the back, these are the batting champs, or people who have batting champs. Says Wade Boggs, George Brett, and Pete Rose. So let's see if we can see the pictures here. So let's see. They're not easy to see. So that's Wade Boggs, I'm pretty sure, right there. There's your Wade Boggs, if you can see it. That looks like George Brett right there, which means this one would be Pete Rose. It's difficult to see. The images aren't perfectly clear when you do it, but that's your triple stars batting leaders. This one, triple stars MVPs, Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly, and Cal Ripken Jr. So let's see who we got here. So there's a good image of Cal, sorta. Down to Donnie Baseball, and up to Keith Hernandez on the Mets at the time. Donnie Baseball, Cal. All right, that's your MVP coin, the third one. Here is another triple stars slugging champs. Who is this? Okay, Harold Baines. I don't care what people say. Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer. I don't care what you say. He was a really, really good hitter. You know, he didn't necessarily overwhelm people, but there's a lot of Hall of Fame players who didn't overwhelm. They're just really good for a long period of time. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Rawr. Pedro Guerrero and Dave Parker. So some big name people here. All right, so who do we got here? So there's Harold Baines right there in his White Sox uniform. That's Dave Parker on the Reds at that time. And then that'll be Pedro Guerrero for the Dodgers. Let me see if I can get him in the other way. There you go. There's Pedro Guerrero for the Dodgers at the time. All right. Here's a TriStar home run champs. Dale Murphy, Jim Rice, and Mike Schmidt. So obviously I have this card, this coin, I should say, in my Mike Schmidt binder, but this is the one I have for my 16 card set. So Dale Murphy, Jim Rice, Mike Schmidt. Dale Murphy, it's hard to see Mr. Schmidt depending on the angle I do it. So there's Mike, Jim Rice, Dale Murphy, a little portrait. All the others were kind of like body shots, action shots. Those are all portraits right there. Here we go, Cy Young Award winners. Ron Guidry, Brett Saberhagen, and Fernando Valenzuela. All right, so that's your Guidry. There's your Brett Saberhagen. And there's Fernando. I guess that they're trying to get him. It's hard for me to see the Fernando. He's looking, it looks like he's looking up as he's winding up. It's hard to see that one, but there's the Fernando, another Dodger great, just like Pedro Guerrero. This must be a saves leader, bullpen aces, because I recognize the first person on the card here. This one is Goose Gossage, Dan Quisenberry, and Bruce Sutter. I will say that when we were kids back in the 70s and 80s, everybody thought Dan Quisenberry was going to be a Hall of Famer someday, but I guess he just didn't make the cut, but the other two did. So there's Dan Quisenberry, Bruce Sutter, and Rich Gossage, Goose Gossage. There's Gossage on the Padres still at the time. Bruce Sutter with the Braves. And obviously Quisenberry on the Royals. All right. Strikeout Kings. Strikeout Kings, Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan, and Tom Seaver. There's a Hall of Fame triumvirate right there, huh? That's a big list of Hall of Famers. Carlton right there. Nolan Ryan on the Astros still. And then Tom Seaver with the White Sox. But that's a legendary stack of pitchers. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that as your pitching group? You know what I'm saying? So that was a really cool coin collection. All right, this one just says ace pitchers. Nothing special, just ace pitchers. It is Mike Boddicker, Ron Darling, and Dave Stieb. Wow, Dave Stieb was decent. I'm not sure about the others. So Mike Boddicker of the Orioles. Where is his picture? There's Mike Boddicker. That is, I guess, Dave Stieb of the Blue Jays. I can't tell. Oh, that's Dave Stieb right there. That's the other guy. I don't even remember who the other guy was. Brett, Ron Darling, yeah. Okay, so that's Ron Darling there. There you go. There's Ron Darling, Mike Boddicker, and Dave Stieb. Yeah, Dave Stieb had that very familiar full wind up torso right in front of you as it's coming at you. Rookies now. I'm not sure if these are the best rookies. Steve Lyons, uh, Rick Shue, and Larry Sheets. Wow, what a sad arrangement of rookies for that you had there. So I'm gonna get them wrong. Steve Lyons on the Red Sox, Rick Shue on the Phillies, and Larry Sheets on the Orioles. So there's your Larry Sheets on the Orioles. That's I've already forgotten the guy's name. Steve Lyons. I'm sorry, Steve. Steve on the Red Sox. Uh, Larry Sheets, Steve Lyons, and Rick Shue. Wow, what a disappointing crop of rookies that was. Oh my word! More bullpen aces. Jeff Reardon, Dave Righetti, and Bob Stanley. Let's go back to the other ones. Those guys were good. These guys are scrubs. So there's your Bob Stanley, Jeff Reardon, and Dave Righetti. Those guys are just scrub relievers. They were good, but yeah, they're not the kinds of guys you really want on your team. Notice that only Dwight Gooden garnered his own card, own coin by himself. Power hitters: George Bell, Darryl Strawberry, and Dave Winfield. Let's see who we can figure out. This looks like Dave Winfield on the Yankees at the time. That looks like George Bell for the Blue Jays. And then Darryl Strawberry. See if we can't get a better look at Strawberry. Looks like he's in the middle of swinging hard at a home run there. Who else have we got? Just a couple more base stealers. That's a good one. Ricky Henderson, Tim Raines, and Juan Samuel of the Phillies. I like that. Sammy was stealing bases, but nowhere near the rate the other two guys were. So there's your Tim Raines on the Expos. That's Juan Samuel from behind running. And then Ricky Henderson taking a patented Ricky lead on a base. Really cool card there. We got a couple more, so bear with me. Home run hitters again. This one has Andre Dawson, Dwight Evans, and Eddie Murray. All three should be in the Hall of Fame. Dewey will get there eventually, I hope. So that is, I believe, Dwight Evans right there. There's Dawson. And then lastly, Eddie Murray, still in the Orioles by this time. So that's a really awesome coin of grouping of people there. More bullpen rookies, not bullpen aces, but bullpen rookies. Who do we got? Tim Burke, Brian Fisher, and Roger McDowell. So Tim Burke with the Expos, Brian Fisher with the Yankees, and Roger McDowell the Mets. So Tim Burke, the other guy, hang on a second, Tim Burke is there. Tim Burke, Brian Fisher. Tim Burke, Brian Fisher, and then Roger McDowell. Bit of a joker for both the Mets and the Phillies. Last one I got for you, sluggers, just flat out sluggers. It says Jesse Barfield, Gary Carter, and Fred Lynn. I don't know about sluggers, but they had some pop. Jesse Barfield, Gary Carter. Jesse Barfield was with the Blue Jays at the time. Gary Carter and Freddie Lynn on the Orioles by now. Check out that. So that's it. There are 16 coins in the set. Only Dwight Gooden warranted his own little coin, but there you go. And again, there's I think 7-Eleven did this from 1984 through 1986, but don't quote me on that. I did not look it up on the tradingcarddatabase.com before I checked in today, so I might be mistaken. But those coin sets are very inexpensive to get the whole set, and I'm going to do my best to get the whole set, have a whole binder full of all of the releases from 7-Eleven over the years. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. If you like that video, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card meeting, all right? Come back again on Wednesday. I got more trivia prizes to give away. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.